Hey guys, it's Tuesday, March 31st, and we are going to be going over the standard OA7. We will dig into that deeper, but first I want you to complete the warm up. So, at home, on your packet or on a separate sheet of paper, this is the warm up that you are going to be completing. As you know, we have learned about pictographs, so I have a few questions for you to answer. The first thing that I want you to do is take notice of the pictograph. It's showing different fruits, and then what's really important is the key at the bottom. Remember, not all of them are going to equal 10. If there's a half fruit, you need to figure out what half of 10 is. So I'll read the first question for you. How many more people liked oranges than bananas? I'm going to go ahead and read the second one, and then I'm going to give you some time to complete it. The second one says, how many more people like strawberries than bananas and pears combined? So here's your warm-up. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to complete this warm-up. Make sure you are writing out the amount of fruit for each fruit. So for apples, how many? Oranges, how many? Let me give you about 10 more seconds. I was about to say 2 minutes. That would not be correct. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do over here is I know that it's harder to kind of see the screen, but you still should be able to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going over the first problem and the second problem after I write out how many apples, oranges, bananas, strawberries, cherries, and pears there are. So for apple, I'm just going to write an A. And remember, the key is each fruit equals 10, but when it's cut in half, it actually equals 5, because half of 10 is 5. And we know to do that by skip counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That tells us that that's half. So I'm going to skip count until I see a half and make sure that I'm doing 5. 10, 20, 30, 5. So apples, there are 35. Oranges, I'm going to put an O, equals 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So as I'm doing this, you can check over your work. Bananas. A B for bananas, there were 2, so 10, 20. An S for strawberries. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 5. Cherries, there was 1, so that's 10. And So after I have that, you need to make sure that you have the same. So apple, 35, oranges, 60, bananas, 20, strawberry, 75, cherry, 10, and a pear, or 10. So, how many more people liked oranges than bananas? The three words that I just said, how many more, should have had a light bulb go off in your head. We know that when we hear those words, that means subtract. So at some point, if it's a one-step or a two-step, we know at some point we have to subtract. But it's only asking how many more people like oranges than bananas. So we're only comparing the oranges and the bananas. So we're only going to be doing a one-step. So oranges, we had 60. I'm going to put a little O for orange. And bananas, we had 20. And we just said that when we hear how many more, we know we're subtracting. So I'm going to be doing 60 minus 20. I'm going to do a little squiggly line to separate my work. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down your plus sign. Zeros come down. 6 minus 2 is 4. So our answer is 40. That is what you should have gotten for how many more people like oranges than bananas? 40 more people. Okay. Now, moving to the second problem. How many more people like strawberries than bananas and pears combined? How many more? Ding, ding, ding. I know I'm subtracting somewhere. How many more people like strawberries than bananas and pears combined? So with this problem, I'm working with strawberries, bananas, and pears. The way that I know how to determine which ones I'm putting together is right here it says how many more people like strawberries than bananas and pears combined. So I'm adding the bananas and pears together. So bananas, there were 20, and the pears, there were 10. So we know that 20 plus 10 is 30. And I'm going to put a B and a P for bananas and pears. In the problem, it said how many more, and that means subtract, and we have not subtracted yet. So that should help you know this is a two-step problem. We haven't solved it all the way. I'm going to read it again. How many more people like strawberries than bananas and pears combined? So the other fruit that we haven't discussed is strawberries. So we need to take strawberries, which is 75, and you should subtract that from 30, which was the bananas and pears. And I'm just going to put an S for strawberries and a B and a P for bananas and pears. 5 minus 0, you should have gotten 5. Bring down your plus and your 0. 7 minus 3 is 4. So, 45 people like strawberries more than bananas and pears combined. 45. All right, good work. All right, moving on. For today's learning, you are going to be multiplying and dividing within 100. Guys, this is something you learned at the very beginning almost of school, especially multiplication. Remember your songs that we have taught you in class. I promise they'll be very helpful. So what I would like for you to do is draw your fraction bars and send a picture to your teacher. Make sure to label the inside of your fraction bars. 1/4, 1/2, 1/8, 1/3, 1/6. Okay? Draw that. Send it to me, Miss Flint, Miss Austin, or the other Miss Allen. Ooh, okay. So, today starts a review for you guys on OA7, which is the multiplying or dividing within 100. So the first problem we're going to look at is Lauren multiplied 5 and 7 to get 35. Which number sentence could Lauren use to check her answer? We have A, 35 minus 7 equals K. B, 35 divided by 7 equals K. C, 35 plus 5 equals K. And D, 35 times 5 equals K. So, the three numbers that we're working with are 5, 7, and 35. We need to figure out what expression is the correct one that will help us solve the problem. So if I'm looking at this, let me see if I can make it any bigger. Ooh. Okay. Lauren multiplied 5 and 7 to get 35. So of course, when we see this, we notice that we would do multiplying 5 times 7 to get 35. You can check that by doing 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That's 7. And we skip count at 5s and gave us 35. Or you could do 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. You skip count your 7s 5 times to get 35. Now, 5 times 7 equals 35 is not one of our answer choices. We have a subtraction symbol, a division symbol, an adding symbol, and a multiplication symbol. Well, the way I like to do these is I like to eliminate the ones I know don't make sense. So if we know that 5 times 7 equals 35, do we think that 35 times 5 is going to equal 7? No way. That would not make sense. And we know that if we use the box method to solve that problem, that's going to be a really large number. So D could not be an answer choice. So I'm going to write A, B, C, D here. And I'm going to go ahead and eliminate D. No way. Now, as we're going through these, I want to express that we're only using these three numbers. So when we're looking at the expressions, if it's 35 minus 7 equals K, that means that K equals 5 because we're plugging in the numbers. So whatever number is missing out of these three is what is represented by K. So for example, if you cannot see, it says 35 minus 7 equals K. 35 minus 7 equals 5? That's what it's telling me. 35 minus 7 equals 5. 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. That's 35 minus 7 equals 28. So 35 minus 7 equals 5. That's not right. That makes no sense. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it out. The next one is 35 divided by 7 equals K. So 35 divided by 7 equals 5 because we're plugging in for K. Well, if we are doing the total, which is it, divided by 7, if we skip count our 7s all the way to 35, it needs to be counted up 5 times. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. That makes sense. I skip counted my 7s all the way to 35, and I have 5 fingers standing. So I'm going to put a thinking dot beside B because that could be right. All right, and then lastly, 35 plus 5 equals, and I'm going to write 7 because we've already used the 35 and the 5. K represents 7. 35 plus 5 is 40. That is nowhere near 7. So that can't be right. So, out of all those answers, B is the only one that worked. All right. Moving forward. There are 36 students on the playground. The students are playing in 6 equal groups. Which expression shows this relationship? We have a total given. There are 36 students on the playground. Imagine our class, mine and Miss Murphy's, Miss Flint and Miss McSherry, Miss Austin and Miss Johnson, or if you're in Miss Allen's class, you can imagine being with me on the playground. That's about how many kids are on the playground. We're not leaving anyone out, so 36 is our total. When we hear the word total, if we're given the total in a problem, we should know that that means we're probably dividing. So if I have 36 students, and the students are playing in 6 equal groups, that means I have 6 groups. And if I need to draw a picture, here are my 6 groups, and I need to make sure that there's 36 students all together in there. That doesn't mean 36 students are in this one, 36 students are in this one. That means that there are only 36 altogether. So if we're trying to figure out how to solve that, what do? We have an expression. A, 6 divided by 36 equals 6. Well, we know that if we are dividing this problem, because we have the total and we have equal groups, we need to see how many are in each group. So we would do 36 divided by 6, and that means we would skip count our 6's until we get to 36. Now, I skip count my 6's differently than other classes because I can't sing, but my class understands. But if you can skip count your 6's on your own, that's great. So you would do 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. That means that it took us 6 times to get to 36. So if we were solving this, we know that 36 divided by 6 equals 6. Now, A, 6 divided by 36 equals 6. Some of you are going to say, yeah, that's right. Those are all the numbers that we use. But we had a problem like this in my class that I had to explain the difference. And this is what I showed them. So, if we did 36 divided by 6, that equals 6, okay? But if we did 6 divided by 36, that gives us a crazy number. So it doesn't work. So that is not an expression we can use. So A, no. B, we have 36 times 6 equals 216. Is that what we're looking for? We're trying to see how many are in each group, not 216. That can't be right. So I'm going to mark it out. C, 6 times 6 equals 36. Well, we know using a get triangle, if we had to fill in the blanks, if we're dividing 36, 6 and 6, 6 times 6 equals 36. So that would make sense. So that expression could work. Thinking dot. And lastly, D. 36 minus 6 equals 30. That's correct, but is that what we're looking for? No. So the answer would be C. 6 times 6 equals 36. Okay, keeping it moving. All right, Isabel wrote this problem on the board. 42 divided by m equals 7. Which expression can Isabel use to help her check her work? We have 42 divided by m equals 7. Our expressions are A, m divided by 7 equals 42. B, 42 plus 7 equals m. C, 42 minus m equals 7. And D, 7 times m equals 42. Okay, This is a missing number. We're still multiplying and dividing within 100, but this is M is a missing number. We don't know what that stands for. So when you don't have a missing number, you should know to use the get triangle. When it is a division problem, are you doing it, labeling it GET or TGE? Think about it. Boom. TGE. So we know that 42 goes here, the missing number goes here, that's a crazy question mark, and the 7 goes here. Division, division, multiply. So that means 42 divided by 7 is how we're solving it. Skip count your 7s until you get to 42. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. How many fingers? 6. So the missing number is 6, which would go here. So we know that we could use 6 times 7 to find 42. So let's look and see if we have that option. 6 divided by 7 equals 42? No way. That doesn't make sense. 42 plus 7 equals 6? That's crazy. 42 minus 6 equals 7? No, that makes no sense. And lastly, 7 times 6 equals 42. That is what we just proved. 7 times 6 equals 42. So the answer has to be D. Alright, last review problem with me, and then you will be doing this on your own. Bob had 28 Pokemon cards. There are 4 Pokemon packs. Which expression will solve how many Pokemon cards are in each pack? We are given the total. That means we're dividing. Whether that expression is here or not is a different story. But we know that if Bob has 28 Pokemon cards and he has 4 packs, that means if I were drawing a picture, 1, 2, 3, 4, how many Pokemon cards are in each pack? There's not 28 in each. There's 28 in all. So that means we have to figure out how many are in each. So you would do 8 divided by 4. Well, skip count your 4s until you get to 28. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 28 divided by 4 should equal 7. That means if I were trying to fill this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots in each square. Okay? We don't do this anymore because we're able to skip count, but this is just a picture or a visual in case you are not understanding where I'm coming from. So, 28 divided by 4 equals 7. Now, our answer choices are A, 28 times 4 equals R, B, R times 4 equals 28, C, 4 divided by 28 equals R, and D, 28 minus 4 equals R. I see one that has all the numbers that I would want in it. And it's one that a lot of you will pick. It's C. 4 divided by 28 equals R. But that is not correct. Remember what I showed you on my phone. The total has to come first in a division problem. For example. So we could already mark out C. Okay? I just want to make sure you guys are not letting that confuse you. The total has to come first. A. 28 times 4 equals R, and we know that R stands for 7 now. So 28 times 4 equals 7? No way. That's a bigger number. 7 times 4 equals 28. 7, 14, 21, 28. Thinking dot. C, we already said no. And D, 28 minus 4 equal 7? No. That equals 24. Now, let's look. If we were to put this in the get triangle, 28 would go here, groups, and in each group. 4 times 7, or 7 times 4, because that works, would be the answer. So, B, 7 times 4 equals 28. Alright, those are just a few problems to go over with you before you start on your practice. You have 8 problems that need to be completed. Guys, when you fill this out on your Google form, make sure you scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit submit. Okay? We know that you're doing it, but a lot of you are forgetting to submit it, and that's what comes into your teachers. So make sure that when you fill this out, complete all the work, and you fill out the Google form, you scroll all the way down and hit submit. Okay? That shows us that it is turned in. Okay, hope this helped. I'll see you soon. Probably tomorrow.